Welcome dear learners, myself Abhinav Kumar Agarwal, I am Dean Pharmacy at Rajkumar Goel Institute of Technology, Ghaziabad. I would be dealing with Unit 2 of the subject Pharmaceutical Jurisprudence, that is the subject code is BP 505T, and in the first two lectures I would be dealing with the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act in the first two lectures. So, after completion of these two lectures, we would be able to understand what are the constitution and the qualifications of the various bodies and the persons appointed for the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act, and we will also be able to know about the functions and the duties of the various bodies and persons involved in the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940. The Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940 provides for the establishment of various administrative bodies and persons for the smooth administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act throughout the country. There are these bodies and persons are classified into three categories. First category is the advisory category, the second category is the analytical category, and the third bodies and persons involved are the executive categories. So, in the advisory categories, there are two types of bodies which are being constituted. That is, first one is the Drug Technical Advisory Board, that is DTAB, and second one is the Drug Consultative Committee, also abbreviated as DCC. In the analytical classification, there are two types of bodies which are to be constituted. There are central and state drug laboratories and the government analyst, while the executive functions for the administration of the act rest with two kinds of people. One is the licensing and the controlling authorities, and the second one are the drug inspectors. Let us first start with the Drug Technical Advisory Board, DTAB. DTAB is the highest statutory decision making body on technical matters relating to drugs in India. DTAB is constituted under the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940 by the central government to advise both the central and the state governments in the technical matter arising out of the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940. The central government appoints the secretary and provides the clerical staff for the DTAB for its smooth functioning. The board can also appoint subcommittees or may also appoint people who are not on the DTAB board temporarily or for a period of time, but that period of time should not exceed in any case for the 3 years. It consists of total 18 members. The DTAB consists of total 18 members, of whom 8 are ex officio, 5 are nominated and 5 are elected members. So, it has got total 18 members, out of which 8 are ex officio, 5 are nominated and 5 are elected. Both the nominated and the elected members hold office for a period of 3 years, but are also eligible for renomination and for re-election as the case may be. The ex officio, there are 8 ex officio members. So, what the ex officio members who hold the post, who are members of the DTAB by virtue of their holding the post. So, the 8 ex officio members include the Director General of Health Services, that is DGHS of India. He is the chairman of the DTAB. The second person, the second ex officio member is the Drug Controller General of India, DCGI, who is also the member secretary of this this DTAB. The other ex officio member is Central Director, Central Drugs Laboratory, Kolkata. The other member is Director, Central Research Institute, Kasauli. The other 4 members of the ex officio members of the DTAB include the Director, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, IVRI, Izzatnagar. The other members include Directors, Central Drug Research Institute, CDRI, Lucknow, President, Pharmacy Council of India, and President, Medical Council of India. So, there are in total 8 members. The DGHS, who is the chairman, DCGI, who is the member secretary, Director CDL, Director CRI, Director IVRI Izzatnagar, Director CDRI Lucknow, President Pharmacy Council of India, and President Medical Council of India. The nominated members, there are 5 nominated members, as you may remember. The first nominated member is a one person who is nominated from the pharmaceutical industry by the central government. The 2 persons amongst the person who are in charge of the drug control in states, they are also nominated by the central government. These are the people who are in charge of the drug control in the states, that is drug controllers in the states. 2 persons, they are nominated by the central government, and there are 2 government analysts who are also nominated by the central government. So, there are 5 persons, 1 person nominated from the pharmaceutical industry, 2 persons amongst who are in charge of the drug control in the state, and 2 government analysts, all nominated by the central government. There are 5 elected members. First elected member is a teacher in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmacognosy on the staff of Indian University or an affiliated college, elected by the Executive Committee of the Pharmacy Council of India. The Pharmacy Council of India, they elect any teacher in pharmacy, pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmacognosy from an Indian university or from an affiliated college. A teacher in medicine or therapeutics on the staff of Indian University or an affiliated college, elected by the Executive Committee of the Medical Council of India. So, 1 member, 1 teacher is elected by the PCI, and 1 teacher is elected by the Medical Council of India. The 3rd person is elected by the Indian Council of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, that is IPA. 1 person is elected by the Council of Indian Medical Association, that is IMA, and 1 pharmacologist is elected from the governing body of the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. So, this is the total constitution of the Drug Technical Advisory Board. There are 8 ex officio members, 5 nominated members, and 5 elected members. Now, the second advisory body which is constituted for the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act is the Drug Consultative Committee. The central government may constitute an advisory committee to be called as Drug Consultative Committee to advise the central government, the state governments, and even the DTAB on the matters pertaining to securing uniformity throughout the country regarding the administration of the DNC Act. When there are differences in the administration part of the Drug and Cosmetic Act between the states, Drug Consultative Committee is constituted, plays an advisory role to advise the central government, the state governments, and even the DTAB. The Drug Consultative Committee consists of 2 nominated representatives of the central government and 1 nominated representative from each state government. Each state government nominates 1 person and the central government nominates 2 persons to the Drug Consultative Committee. The Drug Consultative Committee shall meet as and when required to do so by the central government and shall have powers to regulate its own procedure. So, they perform an advisory. These 2 bodies, the DTAB and the DCC, they provide advisory role to the central government, to the state governments regarding the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940. Now, coming to the analytical bodies, there are 2 types of analytical bodies, that is central and state drug laboratories and the government analyst. In this lecture, we would be discussing the central drug laboratory and the state drug control laboratory. The central drug laboratory is the oldest statutory laboratory of the Indian central government for quality control on Drug and Cosmetic Act, established in Kolkata. It is situated in Kolkata. So, the Central Drug Laboratory, or which is abbreviated as CDL, is the oldest statutory laboratory for the Indian government for the quality control of Drug and Cosmetic Act. It is situated in Kolkata. It functions under the administrative control of the Director General of Health Services, DGHS, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. The Central Drug Laboratory is entrusted with the following functions. There are two kinds of functions which the Central Drug Laboratory has to perform. They are to analyze the samples of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act sent to it under the various provisions of the various sections and subsections of the Act by the customs collectors or by the courts. So, any custom collector or the court, when they send the samples of drug and cosmetic to the Central Drug Laboratory, they have to analyze it and they have to report. And the second function which the Central Drug Laboratory, which he has to perform, they have to perform, is to carry out any other duties that are entrusted to it by the central government or by the state government in consultation with the DTAB. The Central Drug Laboratory also is the central body for the analysis of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act, but various kinds of bodies are also various kinds of research institutes are also available in India to analyze various different kind of products. So, test or analysis of samples on sera, vaccines, toxins, antigens, antitoxins, sterilized surgical ligatures, sutures, bacteriophages, solutions of serum protein, injections, that means all substances coming under Schedule C of the Drug and Cosmetic Act are carried out at Central Research Institute, Kasauli. While test or analysis on samples of anti-sera, vaccine, toxoids and diagnostics antigens for the veterinary use. This is important. Veterinary use, they are carried out at Veterinary Research Institute, Izzatnagar or at Mukteshwar. They are situated at both places, the Izzatnagar and Mukteshwar. So, for any sample of veterinary use, they are carried out at Veterinary Research Institute, Izzatnagar or Mukteshwar. Test or analysis on samples of male contraceptives, that is condoms, are carried out at Central Pharmacopoeia Laboratory, Ghaziabad. Test or analysis on samples of intrauterine devices, female contraceptives, are carried out at Central Testing Laboratory, Thane. The test or analysis on samples of VDRL antigens, that is Venereal Disease Research Laboratory test antigens that are used for screening of a sexually transmitted disease, that is called syphilis, are carried out at laboratories of serologists and chemical examiners to the Government of India, Kolkata. Test or analysis on samples of oral polio vaccines are carried out at Pasture's Institute, Kunur or Enterovirus Research Center, Mumbai. Test or analysis on samples of diagnostic kits like HIV kit, hepatitis B and C kit, glucose test strips, biochemical kits, fibrant sealant kits, all these kinds of diagnostic kits, they are carried out at National Institute of Biologicals in Noida. Test or analysis on samples of homeopathic medicines, they are carried out at Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory, Ghaziabad. The test or analysis on samples of human blood and its products, including components to test freedom from HIV antibodies, are carried out at National Institute of Communicable Diseases, Department of Microbiology, Delhi, or at National Institute of Virology, Pune, or at Center of Advanced Research in Virology, Christian Medical College, Vellore. Any three institutes, these related, the blood products, human blood and its products, these are carried out at any three places. The state drug control laboratories are also established in for the analysis of drug and cosmetics in all states. As per the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940, each of the state in India is required to establish a laboratory for the analysis of testing of drugs and cosmetics manufactured or sold within the state. If it is manufactured in that state, or if it is being sold in that state, a state drug control laboratory has to be established by every state government in the country. The samples taken by the drug inspectors during the course of inspection and licensed manufacturing houses and retail establishment, if the drug inspectors visits a drug store or a manufacturing industry and take samples, they are to be analyzed in these laboratories for ascertaining whether they come up to the prescribed pharmacopoeial standards or not. So, in order to again go back and revise all this, there are basically three kinds of bodies or persons which are being appointed by the governments for the smooth functioning of the for the Drug and Cosmetic Act. First is advisory, second one is analytical, and third one is executive. The advisory bodies include the Drug Technical Advisory Board (DTAB), and the second is the Drug Consultative Committee, that is DCC. The analytical bodies are also two in number, the central and state drug laboratories and the government analyst, while the executive persons for the smooth administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act include two people, that is licensing and controlling authorities and the drug inspectors. The DTAB is the highest statutory decision making body on technical matters relating to drugs in India. The DTAB is constituted by the central government to advise central government and the state government on technical matters relating to the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act. The central government appoints a secretary and provides various kinds of staff to it. The DTAB can also appoint other people who are not on the board, but not for a period exceeding 3 years. It consists of total 18 members, 8 are ex officio, 5 are nominated and 5 are elected. Both nominated and elected members are eligible for renomination and re-election. 8 ex officio members include the DGHS, Director General of Health Services, who is the chairman of the DTAB, the DCGI, who is the member secretary, the Director Central Drug Laboratory, Kolkata, Director Central Research Institute, Kasauli, Director IVRI, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Izzatnagar, Director Central Drug Research Institute, CDRI, Lucknow, President Pharmacy Council of India and President Medical Council of India. The nominated people are also 5 in number. One person who is nominated from the pharmaceutical industry by the central government, 2 persons amongst the people who are in charge of the drug control in the states who are also nominated by the central government, and 2 government analysts, they are also nominated by the central government. And the 5 elected members, 1 teacher from pharmacy, pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmacognosy, who is elected from the by the PCI, 1 teacher in medicine or therapeutics, who is elected by the Medical Council of India, 1 person elected by the IPA, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, 1 person elected by from the IMA, Indian Medical Association, and 1 pharmacologist elected from the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. The DCC, the second advisory body is the DCC, who is also constituted by the central government to advise the central government, the state government and the DTAB on matters relating to securing uniformity throughout the country of the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act. The DCC has 2 nominated members by the central government and 1 nominated representative from each state government. The DCC meet as and when required by the central government and have power to regulate its own procedures. The Central Drug Laboratory, now revising the the analytical bodies which are constituted for the administration of the Drug and Cosmetic Act. The Central Drug Laboratory is the oldest statutory laboratory of the Indian central government for the quality control on Drug and Cosmetic Act. It functions under the DGHS and it is entrusted with analyzing the samples of Drug and Cosmetic Act sent to it by the courts or custom collectors. They are also they should also perform any other duties as entrusted by the central government or the state government in consultation with the DTAB. The tests on various kind of specialized products has been and been delegated to various kinds of laboratories in India, like seras, vaccines, toxins, antigens, antitoxins, sterilized surgical ligatures, sutures, bacteriophage solutions of serum protein, etc. That means the schedule C substances, they are for the human consumption. They are being tested out at Central Research Institute, Kasauli. If these products are meant for veterinary use, they are being carried out at Veterinary Research Institute, Izzatnagar or Mukteshwar. If the tests are to be done on samples of condoms, they are to be done at Central Pharmacopoeia Laboratory, Ghaziabad. If test or analysis is being done on intrauterine devices, they are to be carried out at Central Drug Testing Laboratory, Thane. If testing is on VDRL antigens, that is Venereal Disease Research Laboratory antigens, that is meant for screening the syphilis disease, they are being carried out at Laboratory of Serologist and Chemical Examiners to the Government of India, Kolkata. If test or analysis is being done on oral polio vaccine, they are being carried out at Pasture's Institute of India, Kunur, or Enterovirus Research Institute, Mumbai. If the test or analysis is being done on HIV kits, the various kinds of diagnostic kits including HIV kits, hepatitis B and C kits, glucose test strips, biochemical kits, fibrant sealant kits, they are carried out at National Institute of Biologicals, Noida. If test is done on homeopathic medicine, that is to be done at Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory, Ghaziabad. If test or analysis is to be done on human blood or its products or components like HIV antibodies, it is to be carried out at National Institute of Communicable Disease, Department of Microbiology, New Delhi, or at National Institute of Virology, Pune, or at Center of Advanced Research in Virology, Christian Medical College, Vellore. Every state also should create a facility for the testing of drug and cosmetics in its territory. So, as per the Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1940, each of the states in India is required to establish a laboratory. They are required to establish a laboratory, that is a State Drug Control Laboratory, for the analysis of testing of drugs and cosmetics manufactured or sold within the state concerned. The samples taken by the drug inspectors during the course of inspections of retail shops, wholesale shops, or manufacturing industries, they are to be analyzed in these state drug control laboratories, and for ascertaining whether they come up to the various pharmacopoeial standards or not. So, in this lecture I have been able to give you an idea on what is the constitution of DTAB, what are its functions, constitution of Drug Consultative Committee and what are its functions. I have been able to give you an idea on how does the Central Drug Laboratory functions, what kind of various research institutes are involved in the testing of various kinds of other products like Central Research Institutes and all these veterinary institutes and all these kinds of things, and the State Drug Control Laboratory, which is to be constituted in every state, so that the testing of drugs and cosmetics can be done in this. So, thank you very much.